Stephanie, would you get a Mogwai?
I think they're cute, but no. I think the risk is too great.
I know.
Everyone is messing up around these things.
They're so adorable. We even had a dog named after Gizmo. And the risk is far too much.
Yeah, and they only had it for like a day and they already made it multiply. Like they did everything wrong immediately.
The rules on these things, I mean, everyone who knows Gremlins knows these rules and how crazy and some don't make sense. Can we talk about the whole no feeding after midnight issue?
Yeah.
I saw you made the comment, when does midnight reset? Because technically, anything's after midnight. When are you safe again?
Right. Every day has a midnight, so it's always technically after midnight. So I didn't know if we had to wait till dawn. You can't feed him until the next evening before midnight. Curious, what did you think about that?
Let me back up. I've seen this movie 5 bajillion times. I know I talk about my sister a lot on this podcast, but this is her favorite movie. It's one of those things every single time I watch it, I just gloss over it. I'm like, we're not gonna think about that.
We're not gonna harp on the plot hole. No.
Yeah, and I've never really considered when the reset would be, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I just never thought about it. Have you ever seen the sequel, Gremlins 2?
I have not.
Okay. I did want to bring up a funny joke. They poke fun at the rules in the second one. The second movie is way more comedic and outlandish. It takes place in, I think, either New York or Chicago. I can't remember, but it's a big city. And some of the office workers find out about the Mogwai and the Gremlins because they take over a high-rise, basically. And they're sitting around because they don't necessarily believe it yet. And they're talking about the rules. And the one character goes well, what if a piece of food gets stuck in his teeth and it's after midnight and he eats it? Then does he turn?
What if one of them eats something at 11 o'clock, but then he gets something stuck in his teeth?
Yeah, like a caraway seed or a sesame seed.
Whatever, right.
And then after 12 o'clock, it comes out. Now, he didn't eat that after midnight.
Wait a minute, what about this? What if they're eating in an airplane and they cross a time zone? I mean, it's always midnight somewhere.
So they're poking fun at all the different rules that they made that just don't make sense. So I think
that's kind of fair, though.
Yeah, but right, that's a good thing. What if you you do have a piece of food and you eat it after midnight? Does that count as eating and feeding? That's food,
I guess.
So I think they realized these rules don't quite make a ton of sense.
That's fair. The light one, and there's the one, don't let them get into sunlight. But I thought it was interesting, though, in a couple of instances where it seemed like the room was bright enough to bother Gizmo, and it didn't. But a camera flash bothers Gizmo, or, just a little bit of TV light can sometimes bother Gizmo, but then he can be in a full store full of the LED lights.
Yeah, I think it's another, not plot hole per se, but not something they thought about too much. A camera flash for sure is so bright so I get that. But maybe it's a room that has dim lighting is okay. That's
just because a soft night.
Yeah, so they're at the store at the end and there are TVs on and stuff like that, and there is light involved, but maybe it's not enough. The bulk of where he's at is dark enough to where it's okay, but they don't give a precise amount of light in which it will kill him. I think sun would for sure kill him.
Yeah.
But light in general just maybe causes him discomfort.
And then there's also the water, which I was so mad at Billy when he takes some of them. I don't think he brings OG Gizmo. He just brings the pack of them that he created at his house, and then he puts water on them to show them.
I keep one of these here. Run some tests on them.
Yeah. I think I could spare one.
Can't you just believe me? In this case, these are weird things. Can't you just believe me that water makes them multiply?
Yeah, if you brought me a strange creature that no one has ever seen ever before, and you told me, I promise you, these things multiply, look how many I have, I would believe anything you said.
Right, why make 5 more extra just to show?
Yeah, maybe he wanted to be very thorough in his scientific approach. So he's like, okay, let's do everything, repeat the steps, and then there you go, you know?
I do feel bad for the one that gets left behind as like the science experiment, basically. I was like, I know he turns out to be bad anyway, but it doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mogwai just generally are bad even in their cutesy form.
Really?
'Cause we
Okay.
see how mischievous they are.
And Gizmo's just an anomaly.
I don't know that he's an anomaly, but we don't know his backstory. He could have been either trained or he's been around long enough. We don't know how old Gizmo is, how long Mogwai live. So he could have been trained by his owner throughout the years to not be as mischievous or something like that. Because as soon as they pop up, they're fucking shit up, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Even as a Mogwai.
I was wondering if there's like another way, like if they do reproduce naturally as well, it's just the multiplying thing, but you're not supposed to do that rule. And maybe that was what was making them kind of, I don't know, unruly. Because they're not bad, they're just kind of troublesome at first. But they're definitely not like Gizmo chilling in bed watching TV.
But it's interesting to think about because it seems like they do want to transform
They
into
do,
gremlins
yeah.
because they plot to eat.
They chew through his alarm clock so that he doesn't know what time it is.
So we're like, okay, guys, like,
Wouldn't it be fun?
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah. Stripe comes out of Gizmo's back ready to be a gremlin, basically.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I did want to ask you, too, more about their personality. Do you think that they are just modeled after, like, TV personas just for the laughs? Or is it because they do watch so much television that that's all they know what to be? Because, like, especially when they're in the bar, they're, like, different little personas. There's, like, a little gangster one. They're like all chain smoking cigarettes. It seems like they watched a lot of cop shows or something.
Yeah, I think they're just meant overall to be cartoony.
Okay.
But I mean, if we wanted to connect it to like the plot, I think that makes sense because you see Gizmo watching all these movies, and it even at the end when he's driving his little car, he kind of calls back to the movie he was watching. So I definitely could see that connection. Like that's what they know, and that's like because they all come from Gizmo, and he's so used to watching TV. I actually never thought about that before, so that's a really interesting point.
Yeah, because I noticed one was wearing like the typical like 80s sweats like you would see like in Maniac, the music video and stuff like that. So I was like, I don't feel like they'd have any context for that aside from watching it on television. So
yeah, I think if we're trying to make an explanation for the way they act, definitely. Or if we just take the approach that they're just zany little creatures. But yeah, I like that. I like that theory. I literally never once questioned it. I just assumed they're just like little cartoon guys.
Oh, okay. Well, this is only my second time seeing it. I also was mad at the dad at the start and in the first time I watched it as well, because the dad's just kind of like always away on business, and he is looking for a present for his son randomly in this china shop area where he follows this kid into a basement, and he's like, oh yeah, plenty of things for my son here. Like, huh? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Billy is in the market for it.
Right.
But then he's obsessed with the Mogwai because it looks so cute, and he's just like cooing and singing to himself, which is adorable.
Where's that coming from? What is that?
Mogwai.
What's he doing?
Singing. He does that sometimes.
But to take this home on like a back alley deal with a child.
For a creature you know nothing about.
Right, and to give his son, who already has a dog that's hiding it at his work, and the dog is getting threatened to be put down, and even though it's a good dog, but it destroyed someone's property, so like...
Mrs. Deagle deserves it, though.
Yeah, no, she's awful. I said she's the personification of every, like, animated Christmas movie.
Yeah. Like, I mean, seriously.
Like,
humbug her.
Really, like the fluffy hat and coat and stuff like that, and like just nothing.
Yeah.
Likes nothing.
So many thoughts about that, about the dad specifically. Okay, so he goes there and they're like, no, you cannot have this. And then he makes a deal with the kid. I also want to blame the kid a little bit. Like, you could have given a little more context to these rules. Like, if you were really hell-bent, not hell-bent, but if you were really insistent on selling the dad, Gizmo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you give him the rules, but maybe explain to him why.
Yeah.
Like, this is what will happen if you break rule X. And then maybe it would have changed his mind.
Right.
Like-
But he did tell him that light would kill him. And
That one, yeah, for sure.
but still, he comes inside, he lets them like look at him first and stuff like that, and they line up to take a picture of him, and he doesn't say anything about the light until after it's already happened, and Gizmo is like, "Oh no, light bright." It's like he wasn't even really thinking it through. He's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's rules."
Mm-hmm. Right. Like, yeah, that's an important part of this creature. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And with the dad, so we know in the movie he's an inventor, and he basically imposes all his inventions onto his family and like more or less makes them use it. So obviously he's very interested in being inventive and new things and stuff like that. So yeah, he's drawn to Gizmo and kind of essentially imposing this creature onto his family as well because he leaves again. So he's like, here's this gift.
Bye.
And then it's like another layer to just kind of his personality, I would say, for really like digging into it. Here's all these inventions, and then here's a new thing. Like, deal with it. You have to deal with all my other crap I put together.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
This family is way more tolerant of these very bad inventions than I would be. I would be like, I would use it maybe in front of you. Other than that, no.
Kind of the same deal with me. I would hate to hurt his feelings. Of course I would use it in front of him, but on my own, I'm not dealing with that.
No.
Mm-mm.
But I also feel like since so many of them are so bad, you almost have to have a come to Jesus moment and be like, maybe this isn't the career field for you.
I know. It's so hard because he's so passionate about it, obviously. You see it.
But they do say at one point, Billy is in trouble at work because of the dog, and he almost got fired. And his coworker comes to the bar to see him and says, "You almost lost your job. And I know that you're feeding your family." So he's not really out there making money. He's just chasing this dream as a kind of lousy inventor.
Yeah, well, 100%. But that just really just shows how passionate he is about it, because if he wasn't, he would have quit, you know?
I guess.
So I'm not saying he's right, but I don't know. I hope the best for him. I hope he figures his shit out. He makes all these crazy inventions.
Yeah. But some of it, I feel like either he doesn't know that they don't work or he just refuses to acknowledge that they don't work.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty neat. What's this button
No,
over
don't
for?
push that.
Sorry, Dad.
No, it's okay.
Oh, no, I'm really sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I'm working on that. I haven't finished that. The Peltzer Pit. This could really be the big one.
I did have a question, though. Like, how old is Billy? Because usually in these kind of movies, we're usually dealing with like a teenager or even a child in elementary school or something. So when we see Billy, I was like, oh, high school. No, he's working at a bank. So he's just living at home with his parents.
Yeah, it doesn't say. I Googled it, and people speculate he's early to mid-20s.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I get... No, I don't get confused, I guess, but in my head, for whatever reason, he's always younger because there is the scenes at the high school. But like, obviously, that's his like old high school teacher.
Right.
But sometimes in my head, I think he's in school, but he's not, because that other character, his neighbor or something.
Yeah,
Corey Feldman's character.
The neighbor kid is like in junior high.
Yeah, so I'm like, wait a minute, how old are these people?
Right.
So
maybe he's like 19.
Yeah. Sure, that works, I guess.
Okay, just wondering if you knew.
No, they don't specifically say. In the sequel, he, like I said, he's working at this high rise for this like big corporate. Oh, what is even Clamp? It's called Clamp Industries. Is it real estate? I don't remember. I think it's like soon after the first one.
Okay. He and Kate moved to New York, and that's when it started. Yeah. Okay.
They're living together. Yeah, I don't think it really states when it, like how far in the future after the first one. Yeah, it's in Manhattan. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
A little bit more on the dog, though. Barney is a good boy. Otherwise, though, he follows Billy to work off leash, and he knows even the moment he meets Gizmo, he's like, this is a little weird. Like, and then as soon as the other ones come up, he's like, I knew this was a messed up situation. Like,
I know. I put always trust the dog in horror movies. If they start barking at things, looking at things, follow the dog. And yeah, Barney is like, guys, can we not deal with this?
Can we not do this? Then he gets strung up in the Christmas lights, and it's like, oh, poor baby.
Yeah. And can we talk about how did they do that? How did they string up this poor dog?
Don't know.
I feel like they wouldn't have been able to do so, but maybe with the amount of Mogwai there were,
I don't
they were able to get in there.
That's another thing too. Sometimes they kill people. So like they killed Mrs. Deagle after a while, who once she saw them coming, she acted like the demons from hell were coming to get her, and she was like, I don't want to go. Like she had no context to know what these were, and she was like, no, not this time.
That just goes to show she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she knew she was a bad person.
So they were still Mogwai when they strung up Barney. So maybe they're like mischievous as Mogwai and then straight up evil.
Yeah.
When they're gremlins.
Okay, because I was really wondering, like, how do you get the delicate nature of Gizmo amongst all of these Mogwai when, like, it seems the majority, like 90% out of 100, are going to be like Stripes.
Yeah, I just think once they're newly born, they're essentially new creatures. For all intents and purposes, they were just born.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just their general nature. And then, like I said before, I think just with time, they would mellow out a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe. That's just my thought.
Maybe. Yeah, because even when Billy messes up and feeds them after midnight because of the whole like clock issue, he does offer Gizmo to eat as well, and he's like, no, I know what's up.
All right. Yeah,
he's not interested in being them at all.
Yeah, because he's a good boy. He knows he's been around the block long enough to know, like, I have it good as a Mogwai.
Yeah,
I do not. I'd be curious though, if Gizmo did turn, would he be a good gremlin, or would he also change to bad?
That is interesting, because they seem to hold on to that personality that they have. Mm-hmm. Like Stripes was in charge as the Mogwai, so he was definitely the leader as Gremlin.
Yeah, like if Gizmo accidentally eats some chicken after midnight and he, the pods form and then he's birthed as a gremlin, he's like, damn it. Now I'm just like a scaly guy instead of a fluffy guy.
No one's gonna want to cuddle with me now. Like,
right, exactly.
Is there any way to revert them back, or is it just killing them? It's all you can do?
I don't think so. I mean, if there is, they don't talk about it. So
okay. I was wondering if there were reverse rules.
I don't think so. I think it's their SOL once they turn into a gremlin.
Okay. Interesting.
I was curious about your thoughts on like the gremlin character's design.
I think it's a nice like transition. They look enough like the Mogwai to be like, I understand how one became the other. Like the ears are very similar. They have like the big eyes. It's just when they develop scales and they're a little bit more like gangly.
Yeah. I think it's peak character design. I love them. I even think they're cute.
Really?
In a different way. I think the Mogwai are cute, but I also think the gremlins are cute. But they're also like menacing enough to be scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that. When the mom is running from them in the house, which kudos to her, like the phone disconnected from Billy and he just told her that they hatched and she knew what was up. She was like, I'm like, I have to kill these guys. Like immediately she sees them. She's like putting them in the microwave, all kinds of weird stuff, putting them in the inventions that are malfunctioning. And I think she just stabs one too. I was like 3-0. Like, she's great.
Yeah, the only one that got the best of her was Stripe, I think. Yeah, he was in the tree.
Yes.
But she goes Rambo on their asses and just like takes them out. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Right. That's like one of my favorite sequences in this movie.
Right. But they are a little like creepy because like they're so fast. Even the teacher who like meets his untimely demise just against one of them because it's just scurrying so quickly. I did laugh at him, though, that he had a Snickers out and he's like, you're not you when you're hungry. Like, come on. Like, you just want a little snack.
Steph, that's the cure. You give them Snickers and they turn back to Mogwai. I'm convinced that's what happens now.
Maybe.
You solved it.
Yes, exactly. It's just a big Snickers ad. Just very long forming.
And yeah, to your point, like one was able to kill people. Like the amount of gremlins that show up by the end of this movie,
Yeah,
over.
because this is technically like a Christmas movie. It's supposed to be a little bit more like kid friendly, but like this would be a very big, dangerous nuisance to have if Stripes especially was kept on multiplying himself till he had about 50 or so other gremlins that could also do the same.
Just imagine if it rained.
Jesus, no.
Although I feel like melting snow, they were running should count, but we talked about the rules enough, I think that. But yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned this is a kids movie, but this was also before like PG-13 rating, and this was one of the movies that challenged that actually, because it is somewhat similar to like Poltergeist, I would say, a little bit like pushing the boundaries of PG, I would say. Like this would, if there was a PG-13, I think this would easily fall into that category.
Okay. Yeah, I could get that.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I guess. They don't swear, so usually that's like when stuff gets like bounced up to PG-13. So, but I guess so. I don't find them particularly scary though.
Yeah, but I think there's enough like violent scenes. I think that's another part that would kind of push it, especially with the mom. There's some blood.
Yeah.
Like it's not overly gory or anything, but I feel like this could have been pushed like easily into PG-13.
I think so too. And then plus, like, even though it is a Christmas movie, we have Katie that hates Christmas, and her story, I'm like, ma'am, you need to leave. Like, I'm sorry, this is a terrible story to include in a Christmas movie.
Like just bring to light the issues that do come with Christmas and like the dark sides of Christmas, I guess you could say. So obviously I've heard this 1,000,001 times, and I don't think it was meant to be this way, but it's funny because she wraps it up by saying, and that's how I found out there's no Santa Claus. And I'm like, is that the takeaway here? Not the fact that your father died.
And you lit him on fire after, like in your chimney? Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no Santa.
And that's how I found out there's no Santa. And that's how my father died. I was like, I don't think it was meant to be that way, but it's kind of silly to think about like that. That's the takeaway from the story.
And then there's no Santa.
Yeah, it does encapsulate like why she hates Christmas. And you know me, I'm not like the biggest Christmas fan, but some of her like points do stand. Like it is a really sad time for a lot of people. So yeah. I'm like, Kate, I get you, girl. I see you.
God. Say you hate Washington's birthday or Thanksgiving and nobody cares, but say you hate Christmas and everybody makes you feel like you're a leper or something.
I understand. It's hard for me because I really do love Christmas. I got married at Christmas. And it's not even the religious aspect. I just like giving and giving.
I like getting gifts.
I do like getting gifts. No, I just like giving gifts and, spending time with friends and family and stuff, having that time off and, being able to bake cookies and all that stuff that comes with it. And that's also why you'll notice in my ratings that I didn't give this the extra point later on, because I don't like Christmas that is mean-spirited in a way. And I feel like this, even though this isn't exactly what I would call mean-spirited, it's just that it kind of falls in the category. Like, I don't really care for A Christmas Story because I think it's very dark compared to like something like A Miracle on 34th Street. Like I want something very warm and happy and makes me feel very loved on Christmas, not something that makes me feel like, oh, Christmas sucks.
A Christmas Story is like mean-spirited to you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I think it's very anti-Christmas, honestly, just because, and I get it's something about how kids grew up at that time as well, like having the more traditional mother and father, very strict, very like washing your mouth out with soap and stuff like that kind of like traditional corporal punishment compared next to Christmas. But I don't know. They still had nice movies then too for Christmas as well. So I don't know. I guess it's more the reality. I don't like the reality of it.
I was gonna say it's just him retelling his childhood. It's just, yeah. Well, in that case, we're not talking about Christmas Story right now.
Okay, fine.
Okay, well, fine. I guess it makes sense. But okay.
So going to the end, and I only watched this for the first time last year, but for some reason I remembered it as he kept Gizmo in the end. It wasn't like Gizmo and his original owner walking off into the moonlight.
I know. No, unfortunately. Well, no, not unfortunately. Fortunately, he doesn't get to keep him. It's a bittersweet moment because Gizmo's like, bye, Billy. And I was like, oh, it hurts.
Bye, Billy.
To me, like, I don't
It's
know,
sad.
matched up with the sounds, it seems like he was kind of like psyched to be going home to someone that actually knew how to take care of him.
Well, I mean, he was probably happy to go home to his owner for sure.
Yeah.
But it is like, I don't know. It's
He's
sad.
like,
I'm
bye,
oh.
TV. Like, that was
I
probably
know.
more of his concern.
He was he was. The owner was mostly mad about the TV part. What the hell's wrong with you?
He thinks TV is called Billy, so he's like, bye, TV. I swear it was like Gizmo got upset when they walked out the door and he was like, oh, you want to stay kind of thing. Which, I mean, to be fair, with all that happened, on the news, they're calling what happened with the Gremlins mass hysteria because they can't explain what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it was enough to justify that Gizmo should go home to his rightful owner.
They like destroy the town. It's wild.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty bad.
Uh-huh. And all things considered, I think they lucked out because obviously they blow up the movie theater and all of them but Stripe was in there. They lucked out because all it takes is one to survive. And then literally, like, the world, I feel like give it another 24 hours, these things would have taken over, like, the world.
Right.
I'm not even kidding. Like,
they destroyed a town in a night. So, yeah, it definitely could have happened.
Kind of a tangent. But do you think there's more Mogwai out in the world, or is Gizmo the only one?
I'm not sure. I feel like the way it was introduced, it made it seem like they're rare, but not completely like this is the only one. But maybe there are like several others that are just living as Mogwai and not becoming gremlins.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. I just wish I knew more about the lore. So I actually meant to mention before, Mogwai is an actual word meaning like little demon or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me look it up so I'm not talking out of my ass. Mogwai meaning. Yeah, so the word Mogwai is a transliteration of the Cantonese word meaning monster, evil spirit, devil, or demon. So kind of way back earlier in the episode when I was mentioning they're just naturally mischievous, that kind of solidifies that a little bit.
Yeah.
But then also when they turn into gremlins, they just use that term gremlin themselves. Like, is there a term that they use, like a Chinese term for their changing state? Because they just use the term gremlin, which the character, we didn't even talk about them at all. Mr. Futterman mentions like where the term gremlins comes from.
You got to watch out for the foreigners because they plant gremlins in their machinery. That's the same gremlins brought down our planes in the big one.
Big one.
That's right. World War II.
And then that's what they use to kind of call them. But I'd be curious if there was
another term,
a canon term for their metamorphosis,
maybe
transformed version.
Maybe they do more traditionally turn into gremlins, and that's why they are called Mogwai, because it's their final form. It's not really Mogwai.
Was the whole thing a Mogwai? It's just their state. Yeah,
I'm wondering.
Sense. Yeah, I don't think they would have a separate, because it is the same creature technically. It's like a butterfly, right? But you do call a caterpillar and then a butterfly, so who knows?
That's true.
Just like we're just picking whole. Like, I just wish there was more lore. Yeah. I know there's like a cartoon they came up with. I think it's on Netflix or something, a TV show. That's more geared towards kids. I wonder if they delve deeper into that, but
maybe.
I'm just fascinated by the mythology of them.
Well, I will say this about the man that owns him. He does understand that, it's kind of more dangerous to have him because he has him locked up in a box, basically. So I don't know if there is free time for Gizmo to roam around. He obviously isn't watching TV, but I don't know if, maybe when the owner has time for him, he takes them out and spends time with him. But otherwise, he keeps him confined so he knows he's not getting into trouble.
That's sad. I hope he has some free time and Gizmo's just not in a freaking cage his whole life. That's sad.
I know, that would be sad. But also might be why he's so docile with Billy, because like he's getting the good life.
Yeah. He's like, oh, actually, this is great.
Yeah, right.
Aw, that's sad.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to ruin it for you.
Oh, too late.
They meet back up, remember? That's fine.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So, for our ratings, we will rate 4 aspects of the movie out of 3. We will total those all up, and that's how we will get our overall scary rating. Stephanie, what did you give your ratings?
I gave plot a 1. I gave suspense a 2. I gave atmosphere a 0. And I gave villain a 1. And I didn't give it my extra special point. I'm sorry. It's not nostalgic to me. And it's not something that I would just like put on. Honestly.
Okay. It's fair. I see your point.
How about you?
I gave plot a 1 out of 3. I gave suspense a 2 out of 3. Atmosphere a 0 out of 3. Although I almost gave it a point. I didn't. I'm like, it's Christmas. I'll play along. It's cheery. Fine. Whatever.
You're like, Christmas is creepy.
Yeah. I gave villain a 1 out of 3. And I did give it my point. I almost didn't, mostly because it's not an outright horror. It is considered a horror comedy, but I think it is horror enough to where I feel like I could give it my point there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just like it. So selfishly, I will give it a point because I enjoy it. So,
that's fair.
So totaling all up, you gave it a 4 and I gave it a 5. So we're along the same lines. I think this is like one of those situations like baby first horror movie where they like a young person can enjoy it and then dip their toes into like horror. Very
much so. Yeah, I had to give the point to villain just because like we were talking about with the town nuisance thing with them being able to multiply. That's definitely a threat. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, all things considered, out of all the movies, these are probably one of the most detrimental world-ending scenarios. Mm-hmm. So, in that sense, it's like a 3 out of 3 out of like danger, if we're talking about like how dangerous these things are. But since they are so comedic and silly and goofy, they're not as scary. So that dropped down to the 1. Like they're a little creepy, and the jump scare really with Stripe,
right?
So they can be scary, but it's not. They're not played to be super menacing.
Yeah. I think it works out. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely like a baby's first horror outing, but
show your kids. It's great.
They'll be fine. Don't get them Mogwai though.
Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a like. And of course, you could use the comments to let us know any movies you'd like us to cover.
Yeah, you can follow us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams. We have quizzes and fun memes and stuff. So check out our page and give us a follow there.
We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.